Welcome to another episode of the APEX Podcast. I'm your host, Philippe Soriano, and we have a special guest today. She's from, where are you from?
From Ortigas,
From Ortigas, Pasig, the,
Pasig
lov-
City.
the lovely city of Pasig. And she is, how would I say, we share the same industry. She has a web agency. And please introduce yourself.
My name is Olivia and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Market Social.
Can you tell us a bit more about Market Social?
Market Social started as an SEO agency and then became a web agency after the pandemic. And right now we're also working on digital transformation. So majority of our projects and clients are into from brick and mortar and then transforming their process into digital either platform or having some automations on the back end. So that's what
Can,
we do. Yeah.
can you tell me who is Olivia outside the business world?
Okay. I'm a I'm a designer by profession, an artist at heart. I'm an ethical design thinking advocate. I like promoting about sustainable technology for businesses. To simplify, it just means that we just want to make sure that everything we are building should be making money. Okay, so I love pen and ink. I paint. I'm a frustrated musical composer. I do vlog also as an outlet every weekends. I record and edit my own video since all of the things that I'm doing are into software, but I'm really an artist. So I have to find that outlet. So that's me. That's my whole week.
Thank you for sharing. And in this agency of yours,
Mhm.
Market Social, what are the core services that you offer?
First is we do search engine optimization. That has been our primary service ever since. And then we have web solutions for business websites like WordPress. That's one of our favorites. The other one is the software, the custom development. So we can also develop mobile applications and software. So yeah, that's
Thank
basically
you.
our three core services.
Okay. And you did mention earlier that for a while now you've been utilizing VAs under your agency,
Yes.
even if it's a web agency. Are these VAs are they trained or were when they came in were they technically like developers at initially or were these VAs more of generalists?
Okay. So our team is composed if I'll imagine a pizza pie. It's divided into three. So three is like the management, the client facing, project managers. The one third would be the dev side, and a third would be the VAs. So that's why we're able to do digital transformation for our clients. The VAs are able to sustain and do the support like when e-commerce was booming during pandemic. Like if you need 5,000 SKUs a day, we can do it. So yes, most of them are actually trained. Most of the VAs that came to us were from internships from schools.
I see. Okay.
Yes, because I did treat my agency like a mini boot camp before, when especially during the pandemic or even before the pandemic because it's almost 7 years. Even if virtual internship was not yet the fad, I was accepting interns just because they would say, "We want to graduate. Are you accepting interns?" So if I just accept one, the other can't get in, and I don't know. I mean, if it's just that easy, then fine. I just tell them, okay, this is what you're gonna do. It's okay. And then if they say yes, then they become interns. Sometimes, especially during the pandemic, I think we did accept a classroom, like 35, almost reach 100 plus intern in a year.
Wow.
But it's really too much also on the administrative side, on our
Yeah.
internal, right? So, but during the time, Yeah. Anyway, so that's during the pandemic. Sorry, I just jumped there. So yeah, we majority of our VAs came from internship programs, and yes, they are usually trained because it is customized. The work that they do is customized to what we need from our clients. So whatever technology or platform we're using, they're trained to do that. But they're very bright and so easy to learn. And I just don't know how they do it. I can't do that for like 8 hours. I can't do that for 8 hours. I can just teach them like the first step. So it's really more of a character. That's very important. But yeah, we didn't. The what we train with them is really just the skills, and it's just really up to them.
What was the light bulb moment where you decided, yeah, we need to get VAs? Because usually when it comes to a web agency, we all know that it's it's a combination of developers, project managers, and what made you decide to start hiring VAs to start doing a set of tasks for clients?
The journey that I had was the interns were I met them first. Most of them are from the outskirts of Luzon,
Oh, I see. Okay.
southern like Batangas, Bulacan.
Uh-huh.
We even have some now from Davao, Tago. Just name almost every island. But the journey was I met them first, and then after that we didn't meet each other anymore. So eventually it was kind of like that's the time that it opened my eyes that oh, it's possible we don't really have to meet. And then when I needed more people, I'm a Facebook person. I don't. It's fun fact again. I use Facebook a lot for work or it's really more of a business tool for me. I don't reach out on LinkedIn. So most of my recruits are actually from Facebook. So natively, the ones that I actually got is going to be VAs.
Wow.
That is
Wow.
my untold hiring process. It was from Facebook.
You have a different hiring process because I know a lot of agency owners find it sort of toxic just to find people on Facebook. And the culture is a little different towards, but it really depends on every business owner.
Yeah.
I guess to you, it's quite a success for you to use Facebook.
Yeah.
For others, like I was never a LinkedIn guy, and
Okay.
I was only there lurking around and looking around. But when it came to hiring, I it wasn't my avenue of hiring. Maybe for executives, that would be a different story.
Yeah.
But for developers and probably other software engineers, it's really not my avenue of. It's not my first choice. So I believe just like you on Facebook, I think if you have success in it and it works,
Yeah.
I think that's what matters, right? So
Yes.
how long was the transition to take on VAs? Meaning, from the time that you decided and from the time that you implemented getting VAs, how long did it take you?
Oh, I'm quite fast with that. Usually when I need to hire, of course with prayers to, thank goodness I'm able to hire with just less than 2 weeks.
Wow, that's pretty fast.
Sometimes I thought that I might not be able to look for someone, but somehow I'm able to, pick up someone down the line. How I do it, I don't really publish explicitly on my wall. I kind of like it's either coming from other groups or someone posted they're hiring someone and
Uh-huh.
someone comment and then I will hijack that comment.
Oh, classic hijack.
Because I'm a super introvert and I don't want I because I hired everyone on Facebook. So hello to my team, whoever's watching this too. I also don't like explicitly letting people know that I'm actually looking for someone. I don't know. That's my that's personal, but of course,
Yeah, yeah.
if you're going the business event, you can't really put that as a secret, right?
True,
Yeah.
true.
But for starters, when I was just starting, I was just doing it everything privately.
Do you think, since the VA space and the VA industry is kind of booming,
Yeah.
do you think VAs may somehow one day replace the engineers, software engineers, web developers, people that are in the technical space?
For me, they take up a different space. The VAs have a different hunger, if I would say. They're hungry for something else. VAs are the ones that uh, unstructured, the type of work that you need to give them is unstructured. So usually these are type of the people who won't do the works of the devs, or quite boring and always stagnant. To the developers, what they want is just someone to use the platform that they've built. They're not after some hype. So I think it's really different from the two of them. And it also depends if these are new VAs and new developers. Maybe in the beginning they're a bit overlapping in a way. But as they mature, maybe after 3 years, just like oil and water, then suddenly they will just find their own place. That, okay, this is me. This is what I want. Yeah.
When looking for or when hiring a VA, what are the qualities you look for?
First is the character, because everything else is teachable or it's trainable. That's one. Second is I do profile them via Facebook before I take them. I so
What are the
I
red? Sorry, what are the red flags that would you
yeah.
would avoid?
Oh yeah, perfect. I worked from the corporate also for almost 16 years. So I kind of like I came from the culture of the corporate, meaning to say that the HRs are also, sharing some handbooks to employees. There's this nuance on like the people that should be part of the organization. So I do profile them in a way that first is what are in their personal wall or feed, where do they react to. Sometimes just less than a minute, you will see. And if your guts will tell you anyway. And then if in case that it's super private, i don't I don't communicate, because one is, if you're a designer, you want to showcase your work.
That's right.
If you're a developer, you want to showcase your work. Now, if you don't want to show up, it means that either you're moonlighting so much or you're hiding from someone. I don't want to deal with that. I want an environment for our team to be peaceful and non-toxic. So, it there should be some openness. I'm not saying that it should be everything out in the open, but there should be some transparency, give and take. So that's why I also hire via Facebook.
Easier to profile on Facebook,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. And then I guess third is something that I also just learned. I have to always check with their internet.
I think
Yeah.
that's really great
Yeah.
advice for other agency owners to take approach, because on Facebook we all know it's a platform for the personal side of everyone. So I think most VA agency owners should also take that type of approach, because for them doing some a bit of research and probably getting a bit of insights from their profile would really tell on what kind of candidate they could be. And I think that's what a lot of foreign clients lack, or maybe they don't have the resources to go through, or they don't have the time rather to go through someone's profile
Yeah.
and try to judge based on their portfolio or profile or
Yes.
whatever page they have online. So I think it's really good practice what you do. It's you do it sort of differently, and somehow you're successful with it. So how many VAs were you able to hire through this type of process?
I guess around 8.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
big number, huh?
And if I may add to the
Sure.
advice as someone, if I'm the one looking for a job, because I also did this, in a way, all the clients are like my
Yeah.
employees, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a not normal advice, it's unusual advice. A lot of people, a lot of VAs, I've seen this, that they were being taught to make a second account. No, no. I never did that. During the wave of that advice of many coaches, I was against it because personally for me, like, why would I make a second account? So what I did was the uncommon advice that I made with myself, and somehow it it flies anyway. So one I did was, even if I wore many hats, I didn't mind. I put everything that I do, all the business I do, any hobby I do, it doesn't matter. Who cares about, oh, maybe they will think I'm a jack of all trades. No, who cares? If someone is attracted to what you post, then perhaps they are the market. So
Right.
because they're not supposed, I mean, for me, I will not invalidate my experience, right? But what I curated was what I post.
That's very good advice.
Yeah. I treated my Facebook like LinkedIn. So if you
Nice,
profile
nice.
my Facebook, I some of the friends that I got from corporate, they would private message me and they would say, Olive, what's that anecdotal post again?
So, for someone who is an introvert,
Yeah.
you're quite an open book on Facebook.
Yeah.
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 The
Yes, true.
irony, but I think it works. And
Yes.
but like you said, I mean, VAs are not supposed to put everything,
Yeah.
right? They just put the stuff that are relevant to what they want to be found as,
Yeah.
right? Now, I think a lot of VAs, the common mistake that they do is when opening a second account is it's just so limited to having like a second business profile, right?
Yeah.
They can't seem to see any activities going on within, let's say, with family or anything like that. But I think it's also important to show a bit of activity,
Yeah.
just to see that you're also a human being.
Yeah.
You like certain hobbies. I think that's how agencies and clients look for. They want to see if you fit their culture, right? And if they see like a profile, oh, he's always outdoors doing water sports or anything that's
Yeah.
maybe traveling, sightseeing. Maybe they want that type of person to be part of their community or company.
Yeah.
So I think that's really great advice.
Yeah.
So
If, can I just add
sure, sure,
more pedal to that?
of course, go ahead.
Because, okay, as a virtual assistant, right, it means that we should be experts with anything digital. So they should understand the algorithm of this platform. So the hack there is that because I use my main account, Facebook knows I'm legit. Facebook likes that you're using your legit account. Now, lucky are those who did that many years ago that they have a second account, right? That's fine. But at least if you're using your main account, algorithm of Facebook, if you curate your content, that's what Facebook will also feed you. So the magic happens. Sometimes I think 90% of my business are coming from Facebook outreach.
Wow.
So when I post something, even if it's not about web development, just because I posted about Adobe and I was playing with the software, they start asking questions. And most of the conversations don't happen in the comment section. It becomes a private message. So it's a reverse engineer of lead generation.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is a
And
strategy. That
yeah,
is a strategy that's very valuable.
then Facebook won't be feeding you with all the negative and sad posts of others. Stop scrolling those, right? Stop. That's why the communities of freelancers are being built because it's nice. Because if you're surrounded with these people, the algorithm also of Facebook will feed you with all the relevant information. So anyway, that's the soft hack of things.
I am betting on that strategy
Yeah.
because, as we all know, Olivia here is the core SEO. They started with a core SEO business, right? That's
Yeah.
her core
Yes.
service. So she knows everything about algorithms, even with Facebook algorithms, Google, whatever you want to call that. But I think it's what you did with that hack, reverse engineering everything.
Yeah.
That's such a great strategy. Like I think I'd also try doing that with other people.
Yeah.
But it's true. I believe whatever you start posting, you get the same type of feeds on Facebook. And because I mean, one time we're talking about VAs, everything comes pops up VAs. Next minute, we're talking about steaks, and then steaks come up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And what's scary and strange at the same time is without even looking for anything, just by talking to your phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's say we talk about hamburgers. Next minute, you got cheeseburger all the way,
Yeah.
right? Would you say when it comes to VAs, would you say if a high performing VA, would you consider them to be capable or have the potential to be a valid skilled engineer?
Possible. Um, the reason I said it's possible, every person has their own journey. Maybe they're doing VAs because they haven't finished their bachelor's degree. That's one possibility. So it can be like a pre-internship, like it's like a pre-employment internship. So some people
Yeah.
want to learn this. I'm navigating from my personal experience because the reason that it wasn't hard for me to look for jobs because high school, college, I like doing part time, and even if I was just in college, I was trying online jobs. I just wanted to learn these things, and and my sister was the one pushing me like, how do you earn money from what you know? That was really the story about behind that. Um, so going back, it is very much possible. And then some of our teammates are also explicit. Like I would ask them, like, "What's your career path?" I mean, I'm not saying that we can do everything here. We're an infant company, but I'm particularly sensitive to know if they have an outlook in their career. Like for example, some of them are doing VAs, but the someone from our team explicitly said, "Oh, I want to be a front end developer." So I would give them tasks like, all right, let's do this, and then we would give feedback. Then when we have senior people around, then I would tell them like, hey, this guy wants to be like this someday, so you want to probably coach him. So it's really an open book because I'm just relating from my own experience. I'm a designer by profession, but I can do websites. I do a lot on server hosting. But it was just because I was doing things bit by bit, and with the time spent, you of course you still get to do some either certifications or learning, but it's the experience is the best teacher.
True.
So yeah.
Let's talk about a sensitive topic in terms of salaries.
Hmm.
And I want to put focus on the more of the foreign rates.
Oh yeah.
With an engineer, with someone who's technical and someone who's actually a developer, an engineer, versus a VA.
Hmm.
Now, VAs technically, if we talk about high performing VAs, sometimes they start at around $5 on the hour,
Hmm.
and then that could go up to 10, 15, and just only a few would probably go up to 20. They're probably executives. They call them executive VAs.
Yeah.
Those type of rates are usually also the same rates as our developers.
Yeah.
Do you think the worth of developers studying, going through their bachelor's, studying their craft, getting experience in their industry compared to a VA? Do you think there's sort of a unfair game there where a VA would just probably, even if they're undergrad, they could just simply just start, go on YouTube, study Canva, look at WordPress videos. Is there a fair game, in your own opinion? What do you
Mm.
think is a much more, how do you say, is it a fair game towards the next generation? Kids saying, I want to be a VA. We could earn $10 an hour. I don't want to be I don't want to be a web developer because that only starts at 3
Mm.
and your most you could probably get 15,
Yeah.
right? So where does your thoughts stand there?
Yeah, very interesting because I I can relate to some of my experience because I usually get the jobs with weird job descriptions. So it means it's about negotiating. Okay. So for me, what I just wanted to say for that is it really depends on a person's journey. Because some would get super high paying jobs at the beginning and then it's super toxic. And then some would get like for developers, usually the developers from the beginning they would aim, high salaries like that. So to answer that question, I think what's just important for people to look at is who fits and what fits at your doorstep, because we we cannot control other things. For example, in my case, as much as I want to give the highest salaries for the team, right? If I can't, I would say I can't, right? And it also depends on who is paying. So the real pain point here is not about comparing the VA and the skilled workers. It's really the real comparison here is a local agency competing with foreign money.
Mm, it's good insights.
That's really what I've been seeing for a long time, coming from the space of agency and coming from the space of software. So what I was telling my friends who are even in the North American territories, they're looking for jobs here, right? Because it's expensive there and it's hard to look for work there. And I just told them like, you know what? Find me an outsource. Let's find clients there. You'll be, represent us, and then let's do reverse engineer. So I think it's really the global money versus the local money. And this is the unfair here is the situation of the government side, the support for the SMEs, because it's the private entities taking the toll of all this taxation, all the benefits, right? And most of the VA, especially the starting ones, they didn't know this. They just thought that, hey, I want benefits, I want this, I want this. For me, I will just say if in case I encounter, like for example, for the developers, usually the devs that work with us are the ones who are tired working for those global or hype companies, and they would just say, you know what, we just want platforms that are being used. So it really depends on the journey of the people. That's my answer. To others, maybe they will have a different answer. But and in a long term perspective, most people may not be aware of the other side. So I would just say it just depends on which journey you were on. Like if you looked for Upwork, that's a different ball game. If you're here in the local market, it's a different ball game. But at the end of the day, you don't know who's gonna last long. So it's just a matter of time. Either the business will last long or not. It's up to them. So chase that high paying job, or you go with the quiet ones like the local businesses, right? I mean, when I say local business, like the manufacturing, the FMCGs, they may not be high paying like the global market, but at least they're stable. I mean, if
Yes,
so,
yes,
it really
yes.
depends on the person. So sometimes the VAs may have different other jobs, like two, three jobs they juggle it, and then for developers, I know for younger ones they would juggle around three jobs, and then when they get burned out, okay, we're okay with one or two companies. Yeah.
Earlier, you did mention that, well, you describe a hack on how to apply for jobs as VAs. Were you able to also reverse engineer on how to look for clients?
Oh, interesting. Yes. I was afraid before when I first did the business. I wasn't sure if I'm going to get more clients, and I thought I should just look around my neighbors, and was the wrong move. wrong,
What
wrong move.
happened? What
Yeah,
happened?
neighbors won't be paying you that you can sustain your business, right? So I learned that to find the clients for me that matches for me with what I'm trying to say here is it should be clients that matches our core values, because every business owner, they have their own core values. Even employees, they have different sets of wants, needs, and aspirations in life. So those are the things that you can juggle along when you hire people. But going back to looking for clients, there most of our clients are coming from referrals. um, I'm still studying if we will do more of an outbound outreach. That's something that we're exploring this year. But for the longest time, all of our clients are referrals, and all of them came from problems. And for me, that's easier to convert,
Yeah, yeah.
because I don't really have to say a lot why you need this, why you need that. So, for example, one of the use cases why I had client in SEO in the early years was their Google My Business listing was hacked. So, and I love compliance. When I say compliance is because before before we offer the services, just to disclaim also in this podcast, I never offered a service that I didn't test it first on my own. So before we offered web development, I was actually abroad. My first project was it was virtual, but I'm just very talkative. So someone referred a project for me for Thai Italian Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
but during that time, I was already building for my own website. Maybe I was playing around 2 years already, HTML like that. So that was on front page, Microsoft front page.
For those of you that don't know Microsoft Front Page, that was how many years? How many decades ago?
A decade. Oh no, one and a
No,
half.
no, 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 no. We're revealing Olivia's age here, but no,
Yeah.
Olivia and my age. So
Yeah.
I remembered the first time I touched Front Page. That was even before Dreamweaver. Oh,
Yeah. Oh my
Front
goodness.
Page was
2000.
this was 3 decades ago.
Really? I didn't
Yes.
know that. But their website was
Yeah.
like that. I was like 2010. So it means that they never updated their website for a long time.
They shut down for a long time.
But it's weird that office had it on front page. I was doing the HTML slice because I'm a designer.
I mean,
Yeah.
they shut down after a while, but
Ah.
what I was saying is that when Front Page launched, that was 3 decades ago, and I think they shut down finally at the time that you were using it,
Oh,
maybe
that's the last
sooner. Yeah.
time.
And then because after Front Page, that came along Dreamweaver, and the next few everything offline when Adobe took place, and that's the time where I was able to publish the first website I ever built because of Dreamweaver.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
remember Front Page. That was after Notepad. That was like our. That was like our heaven. Like, oh my God, Front Page, no need to code,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
and then
That's
slice every
that's the
image.
first. I know no code, but not technically no code, but
Yeah.
still our.
Yeah, so the finding clients was really out of referral. And just by telling people stories, what you do, it's effective. So,
And this is coming from an introvert, huh?
yeah.
Someone who talks.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I'm an introvert, but I have my social battery on right now, so very good. So I tell people stories, like what I do, what I like to do, and And also, as again, what I post on my social media, it's always with the softwares I use. And then like if there's about, because I also used to work with National Privacy Commission. So if I know
Oh
something,
my god.
I was like, it was, yeah, segue, yeah. But yeah, I had that kind of like thing that I would give like advice, like, oh, be careful with this. I want to post about those fishing.
Fishing, yeah.
Yeah, those phishing messages. They're getting more clever. Just like recently, I received a message like, you have attempted to do this transaction, and if you didn't read like what URL it came from your text message, you would think that you actually remitted. So I sent that screenshot to my sister. I said like, hey, make sure in our family nobody opens that kind of message, because if you click the link, if you read the URL, it's like /run. It means there's already a script that will run to hack you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's scary, and so again, with those simple posts, people would be mystified what you do, so they ask. And it's nicer to sell things when you're not selling people.
100%
Yeah,
agree
so
there.
when they ask you like what you do, there's more openness, right? Anyway, yeah.
That's the time where sales are much more effective when they come and ask you
Yes.
instead of you pushing it to them, right?
Yeah.
I want to go back to what you said earlier. It was sort of a good segue. Actually, you didn't mention this. Regulations. I think we've been. I think the government has been in their longest campaign of trying to regulate online businesses, remote workers, for something that I really don't understand. Okay, they want to put taxation on our work as freelancers, online workers, but not seeing the benefits of what if we don't tax these workers, but we support them in a way that maybe we tax the foreign entities that outsource here. Because in the end of the day, if you think about it, we have OFWs out there remitting money in here. And the way we do it as online workers is we get to remit the money from out there without even leaving, which is in turns a little more efficient than sending OFWs and having a lot of issues outside the country. So, what are your thoughts on regulations in our country towards our space? Not only our space, we could say the BPO space and anything that's outsource based.
Yeah. I'm smiling because there's layers of answers to that, but I'll pick one. I'll pick one. I have been an OFW myself before, land based and sea based, so um, I know what's the business with that. I've also worked with companies who are into manpower doing that. So uh, what I'm about to share is probably also unusual. I would say for regulations, I, as citizens, I would just not really dwell so much on what the government is about to do, not because I want to be passive. If we really want to change about something with the government, businesses have to come together and lobby and have a policy change. That's the real deal. Doing protests outside, nah, that's not going to change anything. That's what I learned. There are a lot of entrepreneurs in the e-commerce industry, the e-commerce law and everything. They just quietly work passing the bill, being part of the technical group. If someone is serious enough to change that, be there. That's my version. If we are that committed, because that's the kind of help that really matters. To add noise, to add worry, to add unnecessary information to others, it might just be taxing. But anyway, it's nice to complain still once in a while. That's valid. So, but if we're really serious to do something, it's nice that business groups or VAs can come together. If you want to push for some policy changes, it's really relevant to be in groups and community so that we are more heard, right? So that's one. And then second, about regulations, we just really have to respect if in case there's really something in place, because the good reframe to this is it may look like a disadvantage at first, but if you are more aware with the law, it can be on your favor. Like in my case, it's hard to differentiate from other software agencies, from other dev agencies, from other VAs. But if we say like, hey, you need this kind of system, and well, we've been dealing with insurance, we've been dealing with this kind of niche, we're familiar with the medical, we've done EMRs. So if you want to be with the familiar ones, and because these types of businesses are more concerned to work with people who know the regulations because they're afraid of the penalty,
Yeah.
then that's a soft side. So it can be at our advantage. So I usually tell the VAs, especially the new VAs who are looking for jobs, and they would say, what skill do I need to learn? I'm starting from zero. I said, you're not starting from zero. How old are you? You had a course, you have experience in life, then perhaps you can navigate from that. Like if you used to work in a restaurant and an F&B from a ship, and then you want to be a VA, then find a client who's into F&B. It's not bad. It's still an expertise. So I mean, that's just, I try to communicate that also to some people, because oftentimes they feel let down from the beginning. Like you're just starting and you feel all the negatives, but hey, no, you didn't start from zero. You're not 1 year old.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so
And I think that's some great insights, because not most would agree with your opinion. Because the way I see it, even with other freelancers in different spaces, I don't know what it is with Filipinos, but they don't want to pay taxes. They don't want to have their salaries deducted for benefits, insurance, and maybe it's because of our culture. Businesses would probably come together. I think there's a possibility that
yes.
that would bring everyone together,
Yeah.
and probably ask for a policy change. But I think the one thing that would be sort of a friction to all these businesses is the workers, right? Especially in the VA space. I've I've met with hundreds, maybe thousands of VAs for the past couple of years, and I think there's only a small percentage who are filing their taxes, paying voluntary for with their government benefits,
Yeah.
getting insurance, getting HMO with
Yeah.
out of their own pocket. Small percentage, and that small percentage has the capability of, or has the entrepreneur mentality, and they don't see it. They see like the long shot of things. I think, sad to say, there's only about 10% of most of the ones that I've met with. So I'm actually with you with the policy change, but
Yeah.
our main challenge is the workers around us. If they don't want to pay the taxes, maybe with that policy change, maybe it's more of a give and take. Okay,
Yeah.
don't tax us. Minimum wages are not being taxed.
Yeah.
Up to the threshold of, I think that's 20,000 or
Yeah.
something. So
Yes.
currently, so they're not being taxed, but still, government requires all of us to file taxes, even
Yeah.
at zero sales.
We're overtaxed, if I may. This is not a mystery to most businesses. We're overtaxed. Like importation, there's already tax. The software we pay, there's already tax. Actually, I, as a business owner, when I'm VAT registered. I registered the business from the get go, because the first client that I had was like one of the top 1,000 corporations. So okay, tax withheld. So I don't have any chance. So the point there is we're overtaxed, and one of the ways that I just encourage some of the freelancers or VA to submit and submit to BIR. I said, look, if nobody asks for your OR, you're not remitting any tax anyway. So there's nothing. I said, just register that you're a freelance, because if you want to go abroad and go visa and you need that, that's the thing
Yes.
that they like. Really. That you know,
Those are the benefits they
those are the
see.
benefits. Yeah, I said, look, you don't have to renew the mayor's permit because you're a freelancer. So you don't need to tell BIR. You don't need to go to the city hall. Just go to BIR, have your OR as a freelancer, and that's it. You don't have to think about the renewal.
That's the most important one, the
Yeah.
BIR.
Yeah, so just tell them this will make you eligible to travel, and it's easier to say that you are taxed, even if you're not giving ORs, because most of their clients are from abroad.
And I think apart from travel or visa applications or whatever, loans,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I think that's one of the big factors. Not knowing, banks love people that file taxes,
Yeah.
that pay that pay taxes,
Yeah.
and that have a business, right? That are
Yeah.
registered, and of course they should have an account within that bank. But those are the credentials that the banks look for. Still,
Yes. Yeah.
sad to say they haven't changed. It's still the same basic ones from
Yeah.
from 10, 20 years ago. But if people want to buy, it's so easy to, it's, what is it, right? No down payment to get a car now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you get a loan through in-house financing, which will accumulate within 5 years. You'll probably pay double what the car's worth, right?
Yeah,
But if you
true.
go through a bank,
Yeah.
it's way cheaper. But those banks require the basics.
ITR, if you can't show ITR. It's I just tell them it's not about paying taxes or giving something to the government. It's just because you need to let the government know that you exist.
And there are benefits to
Yeah,
that.
so there are more benefits to it. And and I said, once you make money, you won't really think about it anymore.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you just hire someone eventually to do your bookkeeping.
You hear that, people?
Yeah.
To all the VAs and agencies out there, make sure you pay your taxes.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of benefits to it. I think we all lack, we need someone on this podcast to educate us on the benefits, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's more important, because just like insurance, nobody wants to buy insurance. It's too expensive. We can't afford it.
Yeah.
We need the onset cash, and we can't invest in that. But not looking at the long term, as simple as PhilHealth.
Yeah.
What happens when you get hospitalized? You get confined.
Yeah.
Then you start scrambling. Oh crap!
Yeah. The reason that our insurance is expensive because there's only 2% penetration in the Philippines. But if the whole 100% or 80% of the Filipinos have been paying,
Yeah.
the insurance will be much lower.
If only.
If only. Yeah.
Olivia, I know we could spend hours on this podcast.
Oh yeah,
but
we're in the podcast.
we could spend probably 3 just talking about insurance. But I appreciate you coming over to this podcast. We'd like to invite you again. We talk about maybe more about regulations. We'd probably invite your sister.
Yes,
I'd love to
yes.
meet your sister.
Yes.
You tell me a lot of great things about her, and like I said, thank you for coming from the beautiful city of Pasig.
Yes.
If VAs want to apply to you, do you have a website? Do you have your socials? Oh yeah, she goes through all the Facebooks. Yeah. So how do we contact you?
Yeah, so they can reach out via marketsocial.ph, or they can find me on Facebook, Olivia Escartin. They can also reach to me via LinkedIn. For us, in Market Social, we just make sure that it's not a toxic environment. everyone's chill. Because we wanted to have a safe space and
Yeah.
environment also for working. And we always aspire for growth. And I guess the reason also that we named our company Market Social was the name Market and Social. So my sister was the market, and then I'm the social one. Just kidding.
For an introvert one.
Yeah. But yes, that's basically the component of our company. So for any VAs who would like to have internships or work with us, feel free to do so because we've also been tapped to be an outsourcing agency from abroad.
Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow.
so
That's
we're
wonderful.
yeah, so we've been doing a lot of strat planning and revamping our process internally because we wanted to optimize it. So when the foreign clients come in, we can take in smoothly.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. We'd love to hear more about the opportunity, and we'll put everything, all the infos in the description. Olivia, again, thank you
Thank you so much.
for coming to our podcast. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for inviting us over here. Thank you for the wonderful setup and coffee and the warm introduction. So yeah, thank you.
We'll see you again with your sister.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
All right.